like that, maybe I could be one, or could you be? What do you guys think? And now we are starting, and good morning once again, everybody. So yes, we have here Miss Monique and for Miss Rachel as well. For you guys, to welcome our viewers and maybe people that would be wondering once again, what do social media managers do? Would it be okay for 15 hours of Facebook, quote unquote, official, workload daily, or would it need something else, maybe a bit more expertise per se? Good morning, Miss Monique. Good morning, Miss Rach.
Yes, hi guys. It's a weekend again. So happy weekend everyone. And yes, Jack, I agree with you. Look, I am doing interviews, right? And people would be applying for a position when you post like a job ad, the social media manager job ad, and they would apply. And then when you do the interview, they would actually tell you that, I did manage my own Facebook page. I manage my own Facebook. I do posts every day. Can I apply as a social media manager? And I'm like, wait. Guys, it's totally different. It's totally different when you're doing it on your own and when you're doing it with a client. We all have Facebook experience. We could all do social media. So what the question is, can we all apply as a social media manager? Right? So we'll answer that question later. Of course, we also have two amazing guests, which we will introduce in a little bit. Hi, Rachel. How's your eyeliner out there?
Hi everyone! Happy weekend, of course. If the brain is not braining, then let's do a good eyeliner.
I like that. The
Well, let's
Plakadong
bawi.
eyeliner. Why not?
Diba? Let's bawi with the eyeliner na lang. But yeah,
Oo.
hello everyone. I actually love just a quick recap. Last week's run with the executive assistants. That's why we realized that we wanted to showcase other roles as well, right? For the virtual assistants, and of course that would be the social media managers, because that's one also of the most what do you call that, sought after roles in the community by our clients. So, Jack, what can we say about today's topic?
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm looking forward to it. Just like, last week's episode. And if you guys haven't seen that yet, where is it here on the screen, right? Go like and subscribe to Go Super VA and check the past episodes. We're in, it's like a ton of tips, a ton of tricks, even as to how, say, you are going to be able to become like not just a virtual assistant, but to be a super virtual assistant as you find amazing clients all across the globe. And yes, last week was about what is an EA, right? Is it carrying bags or stuff like that? So for people there that are quite new to this, you're gonna get like the down low as to what these positions are. Because truth be told, right? When we started, going to the virtual world or like applying for a virtual assistant position, the very first time you tried it, maybe you don't have an idea at all. Maybe you would just type in like virtual assistant. And yes, you would see job posts like that. But yeah, it's really broad and there's so much there to see. You might be surprised, like, there is a medical field in the virtual world. Yes. And there are like different branches of social media managing. Yes, there are. And yeah, you're going to be learning a lot today, specifically, with what social media managers do. Yeah. So we're going to be actually tackling today about, say, how is a daily life or, typical day of a social media manager? What is going on, at their job post, at their work, how they are communicating with their clients, and what essential skills might you have? Maybe, okay, you can do Facebook 24 hours straight. I think I've never come across somebody like that, but maybe you can do that, but you might still be needing a couple more of skills, in your toolbox per se to be able to apply as one. And what they call this, we're also going to be like myth busting, right? Because there is so much, say, connotation out there as to what, say, VAs can do, social media managers can do, and yeah, we're going to bust them one by one. If we need to become like Ghostbusters, yeah, we're going to be like Ghostbusters as well. We'll see. And last but not the least, as always, right, with all our viewers around the world, if you guys have any questions, and so just drop them in the comment
Mm.
section, and we're going to be having like a Q&A as well later on. So yes, as what Miss Monique mentioned a while ago, we're going to be having two amazing what do you call this, guests on the show, and I'm not sure if
And
there's
they're
going to be
amazing, Jack, no? The last two guests that we had, it was super fun.
yeah.
Actually, I am interested to know what is the weirdest, task that they did for the client. Because, for the last week run, it was an executive assistant calling the client's mom just to check how, if the mom already got home, something like that. So I want to find out what's the weirdest task that you did for your clients. So
Yes,
let's see if we have fun answers here from our two guests.
yes, there we go. So before we roll, anything else that you might want to add, Miss Rachel?
I'm just excited for today because, as you all know, I'm also part of the marketing team of Team Phyllis. So I would like to hear, other social media managers in our community and also learn from them. So, Jack, if you're ready, of course, I would love to meet them already.
All righty. So, guys, this is the moment of truth. And let us please, welcome our two awesome guests here. And may we please call on to Miss Hoshi Chayan and Mr. Wilfredo. Hello, hello, guys. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi everyone! Happy weekend!
Hi
Hi Miss
guys!
Monique! Hi
Happy
guys!
Hi.
Hi Sir
weekend!
Jack! Hi ma'am! Hi everyone! How are you guys doing?
We
I love
are
it.
great.
Very artista. Why naman? Hi guys, how are you doing? So, anyways, we got the information, guys. So the one's wearing nothing. Sorry. No, she's wearing something. So that's Hoshi. So guys, she's
Hi
actually under
everyone!
yes, so she's actually under our community right now, working for a client, and she's going 3 months and going strong with her client.
Yes.
So when we asked her why social media, she said social media, in my opinion, is the best platform for any businesses to utilize right now. So we're gonna dip into that later. Jack, would you like to introduce the next one, the next guest, the one wearing a lot? Charot. Okay, that's Jack. That's Wilfredo. Why not? Maybe we can call
Yes,
you Will. Wilfredo is too long.
Oh yeah, you can call me Will.
all
Say it to
right.
t-shirt, jacket,
Jacket.
saka CD. Ganun.
So yes, here we have Mr. Wilfredo, aka Will, the master of disaster, and Mr. Wilfredo, he's also here in the community and is going strong as well. 3 weeks turning a month already with his
Wow.
client, and we also asked Mr. Wilfredo like a question earlier, and we were like, why social media? Why go into the field of social media? And basically it's for him, it's like considering the benefits and the impact of social media nowadays in various aspects of life, because integration of technologies just gonna keep on happening nowadays, like it or not. On top of that, we are gonna be having a lot of AI to boot with, right? Nevertheless, Mr. Wilfredo, ding ding ding, it's your time to shine. Please give us a little intro about yourself.
Yeah. So again, you can just call me Will, and been working at Phyllis, going strong. It's been 3 weeks for me now, or 4 weeks, and it is my first time being a virtual assistant at the same time as a social media manager. However, I have previous experiences regarding social media. Been with different platforms, handled content moderation, and being advertiser support. Meaning, whenever you post some ads, I'm the one who's going to resolve all your issues regarding with your ads. So that's it, Sir Jack.
All right, so guys, for all our viewers out there, if you post some ads, something go wrong, you know who to hunt, okay? All right, they're gonna be hunting you now, Mr. Will. All right, there we go. So once again, these are our two amazing guests here, and yes, we prepared, a lot of good stuff for everybody that you can, like absorb and learn from these two experts here when it comes to the social media field, and I don't know, maybe later on they're going to be giving their own what they call this, their own personal, say, tips and tricks when it comes to various aspects, because I think Will and Hoshi, they have like different they are both in the SMM field, but at the same time they have different expertise per se. So today is going to be like really a treat, of information that we can learn. So yes, Miss Rachel, would there be anything else that you would want to add, before we start rolling
Hoy,
into other stuff?
why did you forget naman ate girl? Ate girl, would you like to introduce yourself? Jack, why are you so biased?
Oh, pardon me, pardon me. Okay, I hope you finished already.
Jack doesn't,
What's so exciting?
oh, she's, Jack doesn't want to look at you right now.
Naku.
Oh my gosh. Maybe he has a crush on you.
He's trying
Oh
to
no.
avert his eyes. Averting his eyes from Hoshi's screen.
Oh my gosh,
Pardon me,
Jack.
pardon me. And yes, oh, okay, all
Okay.
right, there we go for Miss Hoshi. I forgot. I was thinking Yoshi as well at the same time, remembering something from Mario. I
The
know maybe you've heard it
character.
a couple of
Jack,
times
don't
already.
Yeah.
explain. The damage has been done, Jack. The damage has been done.
All right. There, yeah, of
Okay.
course, guys. Pardon for this. Maybe we need a bit more coffee this time around. Yeah, for Miss Hoshi, actually, she is also. I'm not sure if this was mentioned a while ago, but she's like going. How to put it? Like, what do you call it? A total of 3 months, right, with your client, and
Yep.
overall with an experience of 2 years when it comes to social media managing field. And basically, we also had, like the same question like we gave Will a while ago, and basically, why social media? Like for Hoshi, it was basically the best platform for any business to utilize right now. And I totally agree with that. I mean, we still have snail mail nowadays, I think,
Yeah.
or do we still have snail mail, right? You can do business with that still. But at the same time, with social media, you post something there, you click something there, and it's across the world already. It reaches very far. So yeah, definitely it helps a lot of businesses. And also for her, it's like a great tool to expose endless opportunities to the online world. Helps you reach a lot of potential clients, partners, partners at work, or partners in personal life, maybe as well, or customers just days now, right? Embracing the business world in a broader way. So yes, Miss Hoshi, once again, good morning. Hey, where's the coffee? We need the coffee
Good
here.
morning.
Yes, good morning, good morning.
Okay, good morning everyone. Happy weekend. I am Hoshi Shriyan Bustamante, a social media manager, and I've been in the social media field for about 2 years. I've handled different clients, so I've handled local and abroad clients. So I've been handling Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and a lot more. So I've been doing managerial tasks and other things necessary for the clients. So yeah, that's it. Hi everyone.
Wow, amazing. Thank you for that, Hoshi. By the way, Jack, if you thought like she's like Hoshi Yoshi, the first thing that came to my mind when I learned about her is that, my gosh, your name is also the same name of the guy from 17, Hoshi.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I love her name. So he's a dancer. So I was like, hey, I like SBT. So if there are like K-pop stands there, you know what I mean, 17 and all of that. So yeah, thank you for that, Hoshi.
So 17 is a K-pop thingy like that.
Yes, it's a
Would you
K-pop
like to tell
group.
us more about? I'm like, oh, what's
Gonna be
going
a K-pop
on?
talk today.
They're just a
Anyway,
K-pop
guys,
group.
Will is gonna be doing like a little dance, I think, later on, because he's into K-pop as well. Would that be
Ah.
correct, Mr. Will?
I was just like, huh? What?
I did not rehearse. I'm sorry.
Okay. Anyways, I do have a question for you guys. So, as I already mentioned a while ago, I think some people would think like, since it's social media, everyone knows how to use social media. We're using it every day, especially Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and whatnot. Now, what should the social media should know? What does a social media should know for them to be able to apply as a social media manager? Like, what's the difference between just a normal like for me, I'm not a social media manager. So what do I need to know for me to be able to apply as a social media manager? Oh my
Should I
gosh,
go?
everyone's lost. Sorry, I think it's my question.
No, no, no. It's okay.
Okay.
I can answer that one.
Okay.
Being a regular user is like you're doing it for communications for your day-to-day basis. But if you're going to do it as a work or something that you'll be earning, you need to deep dive more on details because it's not only about posting, it's about your
Mm,
niche and as well as the community standard policy. There are policies in Facebook or in Instagram or whatsoever platform that you're going to use. You should follow those policies. So it's like you're paying something or some posting and ads, and then you'll get just banned for something, and you're paying for it. There's no refund at
oh.
all. So it would be much more recommended to study first which field you will be posting or which subject, which niche. There are a lot of things that you can post.
I think you are mentioning something about ads, right? Because getting banned or getting, or even your accounts, or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes paying for ads and, it will not run, or, something like that, right? Is that
Yeah.
okay? And also another thing, as a social media manager, is it mandatory for social media managers to learn how to edit videos and do graphics, or is Canva enough? Actually, is my question. I know how to use Canva. I can just use those templates. Can I apply as a social media manager?
Basically, for beginner, yeah. So I think Miss Hoshi have something to say.
Yes,
Yeah.
go for it.
Okay, so as a social media manager, it's not just about like you enjoying contents that people post on social media, but actually you exploring and do analytics and do researching for those contents and being bold enough to be creative enough to know different things about the platform that the clients use. So basically, like you're a social media manager in a broader way. So in terms of using Canva is a good tool. Yes, it's a good tool for social media manager. However, it's not just gonna lock there. So you have to explore a lot of things. You also have to explore digital marketing, email marketing, and a lot of aspects with social media. So it's not just about a person knowing how to use a Canva, but the person knows how to use a broader way of tools and different analytical things that a social media manager would use.
So, if my client, let's say I found a job post right now, for those who are watching that, and will watch this video. Let's say I saw a job post, and it would say something like, a social media manager that knows how to use, let's say, Canva. And I know how to use Canva. Do you think I can live by just using the templates provided by Canva?
Well, for me, Canva is just a simple thingy for a social media manager, but you have to explore different creative tools and Excels or different softwares to use, like Adobe Photoshop and other those kinds of things that people really use for social media marketing. So if you ever like look upon a post wherein they said like social media manager, if you know how to use Canva or such other software, you could also could already be a social media manager, but you actually have to have a adaptability to have since marketing or since social media is a very competitive landscape,
It
and
is.
a social media manager should actually know how to continuously change and adapt to new features and development or updates that there is in a social media. So it's not about just how to editing things, but to know to explore the different kinds of things in social media.
Got it. And if
I
you're
love
locked, right,
that.
you're just locked into using Canva.
Yep.
What if Canva is down? What else? What else are
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
gonna do?
exactly.
Yeah, Canva is
Yeah,
down. I don't know. How can I post? There are no
No
templates
more
available.
posting.
Huh?
No more
What's that?
posting without Canva.
Client, I think I need to take a break because Canva is taking a break also. and and for Will your niche is on media buying, is that right?
No, 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 not media buying, but actually it's more like content posting, because
Same as mm-hmm.
we but this industry right now that I'm working with, it's kind of challenging because it's not like posting only. You have to
Mm.
be more specific and more professional because we are working with safety. So we are working with the police force and the fire force in the US,
Oh.
and we are the one who's integrating 4G and 5G communications and technology. So I have to think some other way to catch the attention of the audiences. So it's kind of hard, uh, since it's my first time as well, and the field that I'm working, or the industry that I'm working right now, is not like for 18 years old and above only, like content
Oh,
posting. So we need to get some professional businessmen who'll be getting our services.
Oh, was it gonna be hard if your client is working like like if it's police, that's government, right? So maybe there is certain stuff that maybe you cannot post. I know for some here in the Philippines, like you cannot post. I know BG. Sorry, don't quote me on this. I know someone like for BGMP. Don't quote me on this. I just heard it somewhere. Like you cannot post on social media wearing your uniform without
yeah,
permission.
that's right.
Something like that.
Mm.
So is it the same? And you might be posting something real, right? And then the client would say, "Hey, you should not be posting this." Am I right?
Um, Not actually posting something like
So that,
someone who's in the police force, because what we're working on is safety. There are some,
Mhm.
most likely with the radio frequency. So whenever you enter the building, you don't have any radio frequency or any coverage on your signal. So what we do, or what my client do, is they are working on improving the signal, the radio frequency for the safety, because it all.
Not police naman pala. When you say safety, police agad naisip
safety.
ko.
Ah,
Why naman? Why naman ganon? Teka lang.
no, no, it might be my explanation, but um, you remember the most disastrous thing happened in the U.S., the 9/11. So police force
Mm.
and firemen, a lot of them died during that time because of the loss of
Oh.
radio frequency. So that is the time when the United States decided to put a bill or a law that would improve their communications. So that is where the industry started, the DAS industry started. So that's where what we're working right now.
Amazing. New information every day. I didn't know that. Thank you, Will, for that. Very wonderful information. And Miss Mo, Will, Hoshi, Jack, and the audience, that highlights actually the difference between social media users and social media managers. Because as social media managers, you represent the company, the brand. So
Exactly.
you cannot just do something out of out of what you wanted. So it's always you have to think that I'm representing this brand, I'm representing my client, I'm representing my company. So if it's about safety, then I should not uh
Mm.
post something that is not safe. Is that right? Or if your client is
Mm.
like let's just say a coach, then you should be posting something that is very what do you call this, very uplifting, or something that is very motivational for a coach, right? So that highlights that thing over there. It highlights the difference between a social media users in general with social media managers like Will and Hoshi. Love that.
Yep, definitely.
Okay.
So many things to learn, so many things that are, personally for me, these are like a first time things to come across with. And as you guys here, right, as I want to highlight what Miss Rachel mentioned there, that this is, like a good example why social media managers are definitely different from social media users, right? It's good to have the stamina to do like maybe 15 hours of social media scrolling out there and posting and whatnot, but you would need to have a bit more quote unquote finesse, right? When you go inside the social media managing field. Because yeah, you might be like, say, in a specific environment or a specific culture that you have to follow, and you cannot just post whatever you want. I don't
Yeah.
know, like quote unquote, you cannot, like with the will, right? Regarding safety and stuff. So you cannot put NFSW. Did they say that correctly? Right? Stuff, right? You cannot, because it's all about safety. Nevertheless, yeah, you guys, social media manager field or managing field is very, very vast. Yeah, and this is the thing that we are really striving to get out here and to have you guys learn and what to call this. For us to be able to share with you through our guests, right? It's a vast field and definitely very rewarding, and a lot of things going on there, especially if you're the type of person who loves art, right? You love art, basically like that. You love art, you love social media, you love doing branding, all these amazing things that you see and say Instagram, in Facebook, and back then maybe just in commercials, how they look like, right? And yes, with that, we are going forward with this next part of our, or this next segment of our podcast. So I would want to ask our two lovely guests, starting with Miss Hoshi, because I might forget if I put Mr. Will first. Mr. Will, just wait, okay. All right, so guys, how would you describe a day in your life as a social media manager, right? Like like walk us through your day, right? Like what are the highlights, the variety of your tasks, and maybe some of the challenges that you encounter as well on a daily basis.
All right. So, as a social media manager, you start your day before you actually sleep. So you have to think and think and think for contents for the next day. So you have to be like broad enough to be creative enough to think for different contents that you have been thinking and you want to share to your clients. So when you wake up, you have those kinds of lists for different contents like such as reels, posters, publication materials, or even TikTok videos or other things necessary for the content of the client. So when you after you wake up, you tell her like, hey, I have this in mind, so might you want to use this for our future postings? So and then when she approved that, you're gonna go on and make the content. So for example, currently I am working with email marketing. So I've been doing newsletter papers for my clients. So I've created a lot of newsletter papers. So we're doing that weekly. So we are uploading every Tuesday. So every entire week, I have to think for a creative way that people could engage to that newsletter paper. So it's not just how we share our stories to that newsletter paper, but also how to share our brand to that newspaper. So I've made sure that my email is, it's not just about the newsletter but the brand itself as well. So I've also as a social media manager, you have to be a good, as I said a while ago, a good researcher. So every single day you have to do research. It's not just for your brand but for competitors as well. So you've been able to be aligned with them and be have a competitive strategy to be, not just be like below them. You have to be in either the same level or beyond them. It's better to be beyond it actually. So a social media manager, it's not just about creating different kinds of contents, but to be wise with the things that you use for the boosting the social media managing. So one of the things that I've actually have with my clients, so we don't have really problems with the past few weeks, with the past few days, so I'm really glad with that. The only difference is since she is working a lot of things, so that's why she had me as a social media manager. It's because she has a lot of work, so she's also a um she also travels, she also do vlogging, so she also do different things beside her business. So the thing that we have could the problem that we have encountered could be the time difference, since she's traveling to different places. She's traveling to China, to Europe countries, to Australia, to different parts of US. So the time difference is the thing that really kind of interfere with our connection. But even so, even though we have those kind of problem, we actually make sure that we are aligned with the same goals. So we're not in the same path, but we are aligned in the same goals. So we make sure that um I am always sharing with her everything that I've done for the entire day, and I've also make sure that I have posting every single day for our all of our social media accounts. And as a social media manager, one good tip is to have at least one meeting per week with your client, because every single day you have a lot of different creations in mind that we want to for our posting, for our boosting. So we have to make sure that we are aligned with our client every single week, so that every content, everything that you post on your social media is just, it has the love of a social media manager and the thing of the brand. So yeah, that's basically it on my end. Thank you
Wow,
so
gosh,
much.
thank you very much for sharing, those things, Miss Hoshi. One thing that came to mind right away now, social media managers, very good time managers.
Yeah.
Because not only that you have to plan for a week, maybe probably a month even, thinking of things in advance, right? Because your client might be moving around, and you got to
That's
have
right.
these things down on the dot. And maybe in a day even you have like, okay, this is Instagram, this is Facebook, this is that, and they are different and various ones. It's like I'm picturing in my mind like Google Calendar, lots of different colors. It's like a coloring book already.
Yeah. That's true.
Oh my gosh, that
Love
is
that. You know what? I can actually relate with Hoshi because it's true. Social media is very dynamic, very fast paced, and at the same time, social media never sleeps. So do we. So
That's true.
just imagine.
Actually, also the news jacking also rage, right? Like if
Yes.
there's a one post, I think it's something that has been proven that works for engagement is the news jacking. So if a chismis came out, you should be
Trending.
ready to, right? If one chismis is out, make sure you're ready to connect your, news jack, right? Connect it with your client. And I think like just like what Hoshi mentioned as well, Rachel, for you are very when it comes to news jacking, you guys are very, let's just say, um, um, um you're very updated, I would say.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that you guys never sleep because you have to
Yeah.
know those. You have to know what's the trend right now. Would you agree, Rach? I think you guys are, right?
Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
totally agree. The trends very fast paced. Like for example, very not recently, maybe a month ago, the accident trend. Those trends that it's like an accident, but then they will be like
Oh
marketing.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
was really, funny for like a week, for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. But after that, you will not find any other, you wouldn't find any videos again with that kind of trend. It easily dies out. So it's not really long, the trends, they don't really stay long. So it means for you, if you want to hop on a trend, you have to hop it the minute it landed the social media. Or don't hop at all because sometimes, if it's already 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, the trend already died and another trend is coming in already. Right?
True.
So
totally agree. Totally agree.
no sleep for sure. And let Trend Hop, Newsjack, any events that there is, then you should be always be able to, you should be ready to have your contents be posted whenever, wherever. Well,
Yes.
And the tools also, Rach, right? I don't know. I think everyone would agree with me on the tools. Imagine, right? You're still doing Photoshop on every. I'm not saying to those who are using Photoshop, do not use Photoshop. But I think there are other, like, let's say simple, thumbnails, let's say that doesn't really, you can do it on Canva, right? So
Yeah.
imagine if you're just doing everything through from scratch, everything is from scratch Photoshop, and you're not aware that Canva is already here for us, make it life easier. It can remove backgrounds, can do videos already, animations, and
yeah.
or let's say
Mm.
presentation. You're still using, let's say, what's that?
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint, but Canva is there already with all the amazing tools. I think everyone should be on top of the tools as well, not just the trend itself, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Especially for example, Canva. You know what, Miss Mo, before, I know Will and Hoshi knows this. A lot of graphic designers hate Canva before because they feel like, their work is not being compensated enough already because people will be using Canva already. But at the end of the day, Canva proved to be very, essential, and at the same time very helpful. And these graphic designers, they're also using it now. So
Yeah, that's right.
it's
That's right. I felt that one before.
is that you? Will?
So you're a
All
graphic
right.
designer, Will, before the Adobe Photoshop, kind of guy.
Adobe
And
Kid.
yeah, I don't call myself as a graphic designer. However, I'm knowledgeable about Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, and other like the Lightroom. But
Yeah,
now
Ah, yeah.
Lightroom.
Canva is here. Everything is great. To be honest with you, removing background,
I know,
hell
right?
nah, hell nah. It takes a lot of time to remove background. You know, step by step, and making it clear to make sure that there are no edges seen that it's
Yeah.
I
edited.
know, right?
Very
Especially with
hard.
with the hair and everything, but right? Especially this part of that hair, it's super hard, diba? So, but
Yeah.
right now everything's I think easier. I mean, it may not be perfect, but I think it makes it easier for everyone, right? Especially social media managers. So you guys need to be updated with the tools, not just with the content itself, right? So by the way, Will, you did not answer Jack's question a while ago.
Hmm.
Jack, what was the question again?
Yep. So basically,
How's your day
Mr.
like?
Will,
Mhm.
yeah, if you could walk us through your daily life per se, or even back then, right? You were with Meta. You were working with Meta, right? Like, how was like your daily life there? A typical day per se, and like some highlights, in a typical day, and at the same time, maybe some challenges that you encounter, while being, say, in your specific job post in the social media field, social media managing field.
Yeah, my day-to-day life right now is as a social media manager. It's kind of hard, you know. I need to think some content that would pick the interest of those audiences. Most likely, with the industry that I'm working right now, um, it's kind of hard, you know, because right now our company or my client where I'm working at is, what do you call this? It's like an introduction. It's our debut.
Oh,
So we're going to upgrade, going to social media platform now, since social media is very an easy way to do your advertising of the company, so that it'll be like connections. Okay, it's like good publicity. So it's kind of hard for me to think from the scratch on how we will be introducing our company. Then, way back before, my day-to-day life basis on tasks and challenges, it is really hard to check on those issues that the advertisers or the social media managers experiencing. You know, because you don't know why their advertising or post or contents are not working, or not um, specifically performing. The traffic, the audiences, the connects, or what we call well, what do you call this, the views, like that, or the stats. It's kind of hard to determine on how did they set it up. So you have to dig in, ask question, dig deeper. And not only in advertising or some content posting, but seeing, assisting someone post has been banned or removed from the social media platform. It's kind of hard. You don't know how to explain it, because we can see this, it is against the policy, but what specific policy do they what do you call this, did it break or committed? So it's kind of hard to explain to them, like how they need to do their postings. So yeah, those are the challenges.
So there's like really, when it comes to social media managing field, there's just a lot to think about. Now it's so far, right? Earlier at the start, like, yeah, I pretty much know social media. I got, some Instagram there, some Facebook. Yeah, I got some stamina and scrolling, scrolling blindly there every day, maybe, right? But now it's like really getting into, say, the real deal of, like, how does it look like on a day-to-day basis, right? From posting every day, or not just posting every day, planning before your day starts, like what Miss
Yes.
Hoshi said earlier, and then you're laying it all out for a week, or a week or two, and then on to a month, and of course, what they call is collaborating with your client as well, so as to not miss the specific branding, the specific messaging that you would want to, be put out there in the world, and a lot of these other things that needs to be considered behind the scenes, like what Will shared, that am I not gonna be banned, or is my client's account not gonna be banned if I post this, right? There are a lot of things to consider on top of needing to have, say, an expertise when it comes to various tools nowadays, right? Canva. If Canva is down, you're done. If that's the only thing, you got to know more than just Canva, all right?
That's
You got to know
hard.
more. Yeah, that's gonna be hard, right? And of course, as social media managers, no, you plan ahead like that. You have to have more than just Canva as well. Yeah, what do you think, Miss Rachel? With all these things that we have heard so far on your side.
Yeah, exactly. As a social media manager, it feels like it's really easy because it's social media. But then again, um, the difference of social media in business is we use it to market our client's business, and it will reflect like how maybe we need to convert people into clients, into customers from social media. So that's really difficult. It's not just posting randomly. Definitely it's not just posting whatever you want. It's not just posting or hopping in trends, because honestly, hopping in trends doesn't guarantee that you will do good in social media. So there's like a lot of things that you need to consider in social media in general, because it's really a really big let's say profession industry. It's like maybe we can compare this to, let's say, IT, for the IT profession. So like for example, for the IT profession, they know different code languages, PHP, Java, C++, etc. As well as the social media managers, because there's like a lot of tasks, a lot of skills that you need to have. So for example, if I'm an IT expert, I may be good with PHP, but not exactly with C++ or SQL. So also with the social media managers, because social media managers have their own expertise as well. So maybe that would be our next question, like for Hoshi and Will. What do you think are the essential skills, essential tasks that a usual or a common social media manager does on a daily basis?
Okay, I think a social media manager should know that she is the brand or he is the brand. He represents the brand, so he has to make sure that he is aligned with the goals of it. And also a social media manager should be wise with the words that she or he uses on the captions, on the different things that he or she put upon the contents that she is creating or he is creating. So as a social media managers, you have to be um know when to share, what to share, or like how to share to people, how to connect to your um uh, clients, since this is a business world, this is an online world, so it is really essential for a social media manager to, be there at the present, and to, know the latest trends, and to be up to date with everything in creating social media contents. So it's not just about creating contents, but, being able to do different kinds of tasks as well. So that's it for my
Yeah.
end.
How about like the specific skills? What are the usual skills that a social media manager should have?
um a one good specific skill should be a social media manager should be creative, and
Oh,
should be bold, and, doing researches, and gaining a lot of different datas or analyticals from the social media software that they use. So a social media manager should be able to, know how to mix all of that researches that she gained, or he gained, or analytics that he gained or she gained, since it will be a very essential tools for them to, create other more contents from that creation that they just made.
I love that. Of course, number one should be creative. If you're not creative, maybe you should think twice of,
Yeah.
trying to apply as a social media manager. How about you, Will? What do you think are the essential skills, essential tasks for social media managers, especially for the aspiring ones? Because of
Oh,
course, we're already social media managers. We already know that. How about for those who wanted to be a social media manager in the future?
Yeah. For those who wants to be a social media manager, if you think that posting is part of the work, it's just a tip of an iceberg. So,
Uh,
data analytics to you need to know how to adapt, how to mix all those contents, and like being creative, your creativity and design, plus the industry that you're working on, plus your social media expertise. You should know your audiences. You should know who to aim. You should know what is your goal. Is it just only like engagement, sales? So you need to have a skills like foresighting. You need to
oh, I
foresight
love that.
everything, because it's not only, oh, I think this one will be good for today. It should be good for a week, a month. You need to foresight everything, because
You should be a
um
fortune teller. Fortune teller. To be a social
Why
media
not?
manager. You should be able to predict. Oh my gosh. There's no one's
yeah,
gonna apply anymore with the social media manager post that we have.
you need to predict because it's constantly evolving. Our
Yeah,
world as a social media manager is constantly evolving. Everything is new. The trend right now might be not the trend for tomorrow. There might
True.
be,
exactly.
Yep.
you know. So yeah, you should be adapt your adaptability, or you need to know how to adapt everything whenever whatever trend, whatever topic, you need to adapt, because again, it's like change. It's constant or recurring event in your life. So you need to foresight, predict, adapt. So that's it.
Okay. Someone needs to
Exactly.
be able to adapt. If you guys are applying for a social media manager, so thank you so much, Will. Now, I do have the next question. Like I mentioned, last week we did ask this because
Oh,
for EA again, there are a lot of tasks, like unexpected tasks that will be given to you by a client. Now my question is, as a social media manager, what is the weirdest task that you did for a client? By the way, Rachel, you are included on this one, okay? So I am
okay.
interested to know. so how she do you want to go first?
All right. So, well, basically, it's more of like a creative task, since she assigned me to look for different lessons for different topics, especially related to dancing. like
Wow.
dancing and happiness, joy, everything, any lessons just that just aligned with that. So it's not really weird, but it's more of like a creative task for me to do, since she's that kind of person. My client is like that. So my client is very happy every single day. She tried to look
Sana
positive to
all.
every negative things that comes to her life. So yeah, that's basically how she handles every day. So she just wakes up and then, smile and then dance to every
Wow.
music that she hear. So that's how positive she is, and that's how she really impact my life. So yeah, it's not weird, but it's more of a creative task that she gave
Can
me.
you be specific? What's a specific task? Let's be specific on the task. And what's the weird thing about it for you? Like, okay, like, is it videos that you need to search, that you need to get?
Yeah, it's like going to a school. So basically, like, I'm looking for different websites that has those kinds of lessons, that tackles those kinds of topics, like, dancing in the rain or dancing with positivity vibes.
Mm,
So yeah, it's more unlike that. So it's kind of weird, but not really weird. It's more like a creative way to, engage with your social media manager as well. So yeah, and I've do a lot of researches, and right now I'm currently looking for this certain website wherein she could apply for a like a day for a week of learning with dancing, and yeah, and dancing with joy, with happiness, and spreading positivity, which is the brand, which is spread more love and joy. So yeah, that's basically it.
wow. So, guys, if you're a social media, okay, your client will also a social media manager. Sorry, you're not a social
Yeah.
media. You're a social media manager. So you're a social media manager. So clients will also ask you to do research. So
Yeah.
it's not just creating contents every day, not just posting contents every day, not creating Canva every day, editing videos every day. So as a social media manager, you do research as well. How about you, Will? What are the weirdest things that the client asks you to do?
I feel like Mr. Will's gonna say a lot of illegal stuff here.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
no,
Okay,
no, no.
okay. Okay.
Illegal.
Just
Um,
today, we're allowing illegal today.
um, for this one, I don't think it's weird because it's kind of strict, more
Okay.
like strict. Because you have to follow your branding,
Uh-huh.
the vision and mission as well.
Uh-huh.
So even in the colors, fonts, you cannot
Yep.
use anything. It is
Yep.
very strict that you have to use that or use those.
But that's common, right? I mean, that's the brand. Why will you use other colors? Will.
Come on, spill the beans, Will.
I want to spill the beans right now because you know creativity, something that they can catch on, something that they can
Oh.
get the peak of the interest of someone of your audiences. So if we're going to use some plain text or some plain colors or
Mm.
something that like an approach that is kind of plain, but at the end of the day, my client is my client. She's my boss. So I have to follow those instructions. So I have to think of some other way. I need to be creative to use those. She's imposing like I need to follow those strict implementation of fonts, colors, branding, the DNA design. So I have to be creative. I have to think a lot of ways. It's not only just posting as well. Again, it's not only posting and creating something that which comes out on your mind.
You
You
have to
have to
adjust
plan
as well.
everything. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's right.
And you really have to adjust. So let's say you're a social media manager, you know how to do designs. You are amazing at designing, video editing. But guys, again, you're not doing this for yourself. You're
Yeah.
doing it for a client and getting paid for it. So you have to follow certain instructions, certain rules, certain branding. So again, it's still not easy because you want to do blue, but it's yellow. The branding is yellow. Oh my gosh. How
Oh
are
my
you
new
gonna
color that you hate.
adjust? Huh? Because guys, that is actually a fact, Will. Now there are certain you have certain ideas, but it would only work with blue colors. But the branding is yellow. What am I gonna do?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. That's right. That's right.
So I think that's what Will is mentioning. So guys, you as a social media manager, if you're not willing to adjust and you want to follow your own colors, you want to follow your own, strategies and whatnot, please do not apply as social media manager because you will fight with your client for sure.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
you will definitely, client will not like it when she asks you to do, when he or she asks you to do something and you're doing something else, right? So, ayan. Thank you so much, Will. Now, for the last one, Rachel, and we're over time again. What's that,
I'm
Rachel?
sorry. I will be very quick, but I have two. So,
Okay,
so the first
quick,
one is
pero two.
something that I experienced before I joined Phyllis. So, I was a social media manager for a clothing shop, local Philippines, and then when pandemic hit, so all the like online live
Live
shopping,
Stream.
selling.
live
Live
Yeah.
selling,
selling.
sorry, live selling happened, boom and all. And the owner wanted me to do live selling as well. No, sorry. Why would you ask me to do that? And that was my last show. So I said no more. I'm sorry for that because during that time I was actually also doing taking the photos of the clothes. So what she will be doing is she'll sort out the clothes. I will take photos of it, post on Instagram, and then sell. But then when live selling happened, oh, you do this, you also sell live, and I was like, no, that's for me to do.
Imagine Rachel, guys, selling clothes or whatnot, right?
Screenshot, guys, 1, 2, 3. And yeah,
Hindi ko kaya. Tapos fitting here.
yeah.
Okay, sa back, look at this. Sa front, it look like this. Sa side.
Then that's the reason why I actually stopped working with that person because I said, oh, no, I
Mm.
couldn't do that. So if you could find someone, then I would gladly give her or him the position, the role. So that's one. And then the second one is, I think this is not exactly weird because we do this like we talk as if we are the our client, right? But weird thing that I did, especially during my first year here, is I was writing a very cheesy letter for my client's husband. then
I think
and
I know
then
who's the client.
for the
Who's
client,
the client? I think I know.
let's keep it a secret na lang. And then the funny thing is the client didn't actually know that it was posted already. So so the husband was like, "Oh, that's so touching," and also the friend, so touching and all. Only to find out it was me who created the very cheesy post for the husband, and I was like, I don't know what to feel that time. I was like, "Is that correct? Is that right?"
Guys, you get to be the husbands or the wives as well because again, you are the one creating the contents and the tone
Mhm.
should be your clients, right? So it sounds like you. And if you could do that, you could be the best social media manager because again, the actually people behind, that brand would not need to know that it's not the owner who's doing it,
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's not, let's say it's not your clients, but someone else. There's a VA behind it. I think we as a brand, we always want to make sure. Oh, the owner is doing. Especially if you're a coach. Imagine if you're a coach and clients will find out you're not the one creating those contents, right?
Oh my.
Your audience doesn't know. It's not her. It's a
Oh
social. I
yeah.
mean, I think it might be sad. You might lose you might lose some clients. I think ano ba, para integrity do you think affected when it's like that?
Yeah,
Yep, yep, yep.
that's right.
That will be
'Di
there.
ba? And then parang so good naman so good the contents, the graphics, and everything. Even the postings and then come the course, it's not as good kasi 'di ba? So Parang ano. Anyways, so I think that's that. Thank you so much, Race, for sharing your weirdest stories. We love it. I really love the part where you write the letters for. Oh, Rach, you forgot to mention you also write something for the COOs of the
Yeah,
company. Pero
the
parang
COO knows already.
oo, the COO actually, guys. The Rachel is writing on behalf of the owner, writing for this yeah, for the COO, but the COO knows who wrote it.
The COO knows already. Is this you?
Actually, there was one time I think I didn't know it was actually it wasn't you. Uh no, I came to a point, by the way, where I questioned already. You're not the one who posted that. But then she said, "No, I posted that." Now I'm confused already. Who's posting it? Is it the SMM? Is it the VA or really the client? So
It's already a
anyway,
surprise for you.
I know. Parang yon. Anyways, Jack, do you have something for closing?
Yep, as you guys know already, as to how vast the social media world is, or not just the social media world, but it's just a part of the social media management position. Yeah, I just have like one last thing, one last thing to ask to our lovely guests here. So, Will and Yoshi here, like, if there are like for the newbies that would want to become a social media manager, aspiring, right? What could be like a thing or two that you would tell them, like as to what is rewarding, in this position?
Okay. One thing that is really rewarding as a social media manager is to make your clients happy, is to have positive feedbacks from your clients, them saying that wow, that looks great, everything looks fine, we're all aligned with the things that we wanted for the rest of the week or for the rest of the month. So having those positive feedback is something that is really a great way for me to be inspired even more to create contents for her brand, and to make sure that we are both aligned with what our goals to our business and the social media management as well. So that's it for my end. How about you, Will?
Yep. How about
For
you, Will?
me, a simple good job from my client is very rewarding because, you know, making contents or creating contents for the client, it's not always very easy. You have to
True.
pour your time, your creativity, your mind, uh, you know. So even a simple good job is very rewarding for me. And then they will be using it on their platform, and then there are many
Oh, yeah.
audiences will be seeing it. It's
Around the world, yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really
exactly.
an A plus for me. It's a very good job for me to see
All
my work
right.
on their social media.
All right, there we go. Gosh, and it just reminded me of like, back then, olden days, right? If you are a painter, you pour in your time there, not just the time, not just say the skills, but like your heart and soul, with the art. And now as a social media manager, you're doing a lot of these things and your art gets appreciated literally. Yeah. The only difference is it's seen worldwide. So maybe, Will, you're gonna be like Mr. Worldwide. You're gonna be Pitbull soon, maybe. So I don't know. So guys, for Miss Hoshi Yoshi and Mr. Will Smith here, guys, happy weekends, enjoy, relax, and I hope you guys learned a lot today in this session, with this amazing session once again, with our guests here that are social media managers and experts in their field. With that, today's a wrap. Go visit gosuperva.com and check out our past episodes to check out the other job positions out there in the VA world. We'll see you when we see you. Bye.
Bye, happy
Bye,
Bye, everyone.
weekend,
Happy
guys.
weekend.
Thank you
Thank
for watching.